How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rowlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Let's get right into the Pokemon news, shall we? Starting things off with this right here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what this is, basically it's the announcement of a new upcoming Pokemon Scarlet and Violet mass outbreak event that has been announced, and it's going to be focusing on specifically baby Pokemon. It's going to be running from March 29th until March 31st. It's going to be at the end of the week now, like on Friday and until Sunday. It's going to be, of course, Happiny, Pichu, Riolu, Munchlax, Magby, and Elekid as well. So basically, it's all the Pokemon from like Johto, all the pre-Evo Pokemon from Johto, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so this is an event that's going to be happening. It's odd that it is a bunch of these Pokemon specifically, because I did have this theory that was sent to me by one of our viewers, one of our longtime viewers, and also one of our friends. And I want to show that on screen here. It was from Jay Wants to Battle, who put together a bit of a theory of sorts as to his thoughts on this whole thing and what he thinks about it all. So I thought we'd take a look at what he has to say, because he thinks this could be hinting at Johto, which is, well, one way to look at it. But basically, he sent me this post and said the following, which is not Ku and Pokemon themselves doing more Johto-related things. And then, of course, he's talking about two posts here. Now, this post right here is from Riddler Ku. If you guys do not know Riddler Ku, he used to be a leaker a Riddler, and he would put out actual Pokemon leaks. But the thing with him is that he hasn't been providing a lot of information lately, and due to that, and due to some of his riddles being a little bit convoluted or too broad, it's made people not trust in his word. But I have to remind you that this man has been correct for pretty much everything to do with Pokemon leaks ever since the Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor DLC. So since then, Crown Tundra, Isle of Armor DLC, he also had leaks for BDSP, Legends Arceus, Scarlet and Violet DLC. That's like 5 different things that he's been 100%, I say 100%, but it's like a 95% correct and like 5% a little bit iffy, where you can be like, maybe not. But yeah, so basically what he's saying here is people are still on the Unova bandwagon. I don't know, man, but it seems so convincing, not gonna lie. Like, the Pokemon Company has effed up with all that Pokemon-related stuff, Johto-related stuff in the Presents still too, which is true. If you guys remember watching the Pokemon Presents most recently on Pokemon Day, they actually had like a event with Raikou in Pokemon Sleep, which is a very specific Pokemon to choose. There was a bunch of Johto stuff kind of like poking and prodding at us. It was a little bit odd. And he says, then to top that off, Raikou is appearing in Shadow Raids in Pokemon Go. I don't know, man, but I'm still thinking Johto is possible for a remake this year, especially with all the Pokemon Works stuff too. Now, if you guys do not know what it means by this, one, this year is the anniversary of Johto. This year is the 25th anniversary since the release of the original Johto games, Gold, Silver, right? It's been exactly 25 years this year, which is a massive thing, actually, but it's weird that they haven't done much about that, but that's only one of the things. The other thing is this new company called Pokemon Works. Now, I've talked about this extensively in several of the videos, and I would recommend watching those videos if you want context for it. But basically, Pokemon Works is a new company. It's a whole new Pokemon company that's being owned by the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, Nintendo, all of them, and it's a joint venture with Ilka. Now, Ilka is a company that made Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the remakes of Diamond and Pearl, and there has been murmurs and rumors, mostly talking about some kind of remake, but mostly Unova being the one that's mentioned. And the speculation right now is that, well, this company, Pokemon Works, is this new third company. And by the way, it's confirmed that Pokemon Works, like, it is 100% confirmed that Pokemon Works is supposed to be a company to assist and create Pokemon video games. Like, that is 100% a confirmed fact. Like, this is not like a what-if scenario. It is 100% confirmed. There's no question about it. It's just 100% that way. So that's just something I wanted to point out and say. But he says, though, I don't know, man, I think Johto is still possible for the remake this year, especially with all that Pokemon Work stuff, too. So let's hope we get something announced around May to August, which, yes, I've, again, talked about this as well in a lot of videos, but May to August is the most likely next trailer. The reason for this is because usually Pokemon announcements for the last, I want to say, 20 years have always happened either on Pokemon Day, which is, the 27th of February, so Pokemon Day, or they happen on May, June, or August. So it's one of those time frames. And the reason May, June, and August are, relevant is because the last, I don't know, I want to say, not counting BDSP, every other remake or third version game, so think Emerald or Ultra Sun and Moon or something like that, have been announced during May and June. That's usually when they were announced. Like, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was announced in May during a press conference, which was super out of the ordinary. Ultra Sun and Moon was announced in June. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were announced, I think I already mentioned those. Oras, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, I think were also announced in May. So May and June are very possible, but however, August is also another possible month. The reason for that is that the last few Pokemon Presents, so you guys know the Nintendo Directs, like the Pokemon has their own equivalent thing called Pokemon Presents. Well, Pokemon Presents, specifically in the last, I want to say 3 to 4 years, the last 3 to 4 years, the Pokemon Presents have always been one in February and one in August. It's always been that. One February, one August, and that's pretty much what their schedule has consistent to. And this is kind of the reason I'm bringing that up, is that May to August is the most likely scenario where we're going to get anything related to Pokemon in terms of information or news, because that's the most likely time frame. It just makes the most sense, it fits the most, and all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now with that. Just wanted to point it out for you guys just so you understand what I'm talking about. But basically, May to August is most likely. He says because it's starting to be much more for our brains and copium to handle. And he says here, not only that, but it's still the year of the 25th anniversary of Gold and Silver. Yes, but also 15 years since Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out as well. I don't know, man, but the Johto energy is stronger than ever. And here, of course, we have the whole like new, focus on the baby Pokemon, which is going to be running for March, not at the end of March now. And of course, we have this post from Riddler-kun. Now, what is he saying here? He says, what happened? And then he shows Raikou and Suicune. And then, of course, people are questioning, is he talking about the Paradox forms here? Because, of course, Raikou, Suicune, Entei all got Paradox forms. So he's like, they were like, is that what he's talking about? Or is he saying what happened, as to, like, Johto remakes, like, because people were speculating. I was speculating Johto remakes. It makes the most sense. Is he maybe like trying to mock it, like the idea of it? I don't really know. Like, if you look up Riddler-kun here really quick, and we actually look at what he's been up to, and actually look at his posts, he's been making a lot of weird posts lately. Like, this one was just kind of, I don't know, not really much to say about it. But yeah, most of his posts haven't really said much necessarily. There hasn't really been much there. If you know what I mean. There's not really much to bite into or really work with, to say the least. Like, there's not really much there. But that's pretty much the one tweet he put out, and I think the most of the replies were, like here, for example, Soul Silver says, like, definitely this is what happened, lol. And here we had, like, a fusion between Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, all three of them. And instead it got split up into, you guys know, the actual forms we ended up getting, which are not bad or horrible or anything. But, of course, this thing looked pretty epic. So people are asking, is this supposed to be a hint at fusion? Is that what he's trying to hint at here? And again, it's not really much to work with. And he doesn't really provide much, to speculate off of here. Like, I don't even know if this is worthwhile to look at. However, going back to the actual screenshots here, he continues on and he actually links me something interesting. So he links me the fact that there is going to be that Shadow Raikou event happening in Pokemon Go. Shadow Raikou and Shadow Raids starts from Saturday, March 2nd, ends Sunday, March 24th. So it ended yesterday. The Shadow Raikou will return in Pokemon Shadow Raids if you're lucky. But yeah, basically he was bringing up the fact that, yeah, we had Shadow Raikou, which was a little bit, again, out of place, especially when you take into account the second thing he mentioned. If we're going to take a look at that actual post right here. So he sent this saying, here's also that Shadow Raid event that's been going on too, which I also find interesting as well because of Team Rocket returning to the Johto games and all the, radio waves taking over the minds of Pokemon like Shiny Gyarados. And yeah, that's the whole plot line from Johto. Now, it gives me a nostalgic moment, especially now that I've turned 28. Anyways, my point is, why all the Johto-related stuff from the leakers, but Pokemon, I guess not from the leakers, but from Pokemon themselves too. I guess both are doing it. The Pokemon Company Incorporated really hasn't been posting a lot of Unova stuff too much, even have me convinced about Gen 5 remakes, but that doesn't mean it can't happen still. I think this would be a good idea to talk about in a video, so slide it this your way, because yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be real. I had hope for Johto before Pokemon Day. Then Pokemon Day happened, and then reading all those posts from like different leakers, like Riddler-kun, Pioro, some people that I know, some people that other people know, like insiders and stuff like that. Like a lot of them are just pointing to, again, Unova. They're not saying Unova game is 100% going to happen, but they've all heard about a Unova game in the works, which is still very conflicting with everything else. So I'm going to put it like this. Johto games this year, I still doubt. Like, I've become a doubter. Okay, I've become a doubter. I doubt it's gonna happen. As much as I'd love to, see a Johto game. You guys know, like, I'm a Johto freaking fanboy. I love Johto. It's my favorite generation. It's my favorite, region. But realistically, I don't know if we can really trust in it happening anymore. So this is pretty much where I'm going to leave this at for now. But it doesn't end there, guys. We still have a few other things to talk about in today's video, especially this post over on 4chan. It's a brand new rumor that came out about 2 days ago. I didn't cover it during the weekend because I was busy. But basically, here is what it says. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into it. So this thing starts off as follows. So I'm not good at English, so forgive me for that. I want to share something not that groundbreaking, but it is interesting. Now, my relative works very close to the Pokemon company. I think he knows. I think he knows things they do there. What he thinks? Okay, fair enough. But he sometimes gives me details that are not in the game. He said he does it to not spoil the game for me, but sometimes he gives me legit details. Now, of course, this is the classic. My granddad, my dad, my uncle works at Nintendo. It's like the classic, it's the meme. My dad works at Valve. My dad works at Microsoft, and he knows everything. It's a classic meme. It's a joke. It's a meme. But let's give it a benefit of the doubt. Like, there's always gonna be that one guy somewhere who does have a relative that works at one of these companies and definitely gives them details. I mean, listen, if I worked at one of these companies, you think I wouldn't tell my family about it? I'd be like, yo, little bro, did you know they adding in a new Mega Evolution to Flygon? Let's go. Like, sure, why wouldn't you? Either way, he says, and he gave me some Legends ZA details too, but I don't know if he's tricking me or not. But the way he excitedly speaking about this, I think it can be real or not. But here are the details. Now, again, what is this guy's position if he even works at the company? I would be very curious to know. By the way, now ZA will take place in the Kalos region, but Lumiose is the only explorable part, which was confirmed. Yeah, it's kind of evident, right? Like, that's kind of like the first thing we learned. Okay, a lot of side quests, but a few of them lead to exciting things. Well, I would hope so. Again, side quests and stuff, are actually something I enjoy. Like, personally, I like side quests. I'm a side quest stan, okay, and I like it. But again, I don't know with Pokemon and their side quests, they're never really that interesting necessarily. They're kind of iffy, to say the least. But let's give the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they do some good side quests. Either way, he says, there are underground caves under Lumiose where the story elements play out and Pokemon spawn there. Okay, that again is playing into the theories that we've already had about the catacombs, and since, Lumiose is based on Paris and all that kind of stuff. Again, I'm not going to repeat myself much on that information. Please watch my previous videos. They would give you way more context on that kind of stuff. Now, he says Megas are back, which was also confirmed, and this time it is integrated to the story. Well, Megas were kind of already integrated to the story, just less of an element. Like, they were already a part of the story in X and Y, and they were a part of the story in ORAS too, but it was just not like a main plot device necessarily. Maybe not like the main important thing that's happening, but it was still a part of it. It says, lots of construction sites can be seen around. Okay, well, that's kind of self-explanatory. The story of the game has a more serious tone than Legends Arceus. I think Legends already had a little bit of a serious tone to it to begin with. People will talk about, game ending and stuff more than Legends Arceus' people. Even serious stuff will be said throughout the game, which I will not explain what it is, but it says something I think Game Freak would do. My relative kind of lost me there. Now, old Mega Pokemon are back, except Hoenn Legendaries. I don't know what that means. New Megas are also coming. So, okay, Legendaries for Hoenn. This is something another rumor said, so it's a bit of repetition of a previous rumor. But there was a previous rumor that said pretty much the same thing. It said something along the lines of, what was it saying again? Like, it said something along the lines of Legendaries of Hoenn are not returning. And the kind of explanation that I had for the logic of it not being there was the following. Hoenn Legendaries just logically shouldn't exist in a past version of Kalos. They're in Hoenn, in ORAS. It just wouldn't make any sense, right? At least that's the way I look at it. So, either way. Nonetheless, nothing too crazy there. Something kind of, fits, makes sense, whatever. Renovation of Lumiose can be seen in the game. Ooh, okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. Also, an outside company is tied up with the Pokemon company to make the games, which is Ilka. Don't know about this as well. Again, this seems like kind of BS. Like, I'm gonna be real. This post gives me genuinely nothing. Cool. New Megas are coming. Which Megas? That'd be nice to know. Except Hoenn Legendaries. That's kind of self-explanatory. I don't think anybody... Are you expecting to see Hoenn Legendaries? Please let me know in the comment section down below, because I don't think anybody's expecting to see Hoenn Legendary Megas in Legends ZA. Like, I don't think that makes any sense. Like, it just doesn't fit at all. And again, this thing he says here about the Pokemon company being tied up with another company, which is Ilka, we already know this. Pokemon Works. This is, again, the thing I've talked about previously, and I can bring it up again if it you know, if it soothes our minds. But, like, if we look it up, Ilka and Pokemon Works, you know, just look up the actual new Pokemon Works company. Let's see. Here we go. Here is the company, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. New Pokemon Works subsidiary. So literally, the company is called Pokemon Works. Like, it's not even a joke. Shares building with Ilka. New information has come out to light about the Pokemon company thanks to Cerebi. A new subsidiary, Pokemon Works, has been, you know, put together, and it's in the same location as Ilka. And now we've learned, by the way, that they're gonna be you know, working together. Like, we know for a fact they're gonna be working together. If we look up here and find like a more recent post, just the Dutch website, but it's fine. Pokemon Works is a new, you know, company working together with a new Pokemon subsidiary, working with Ilka, the Pokemon company. And of course, they listed here the people that are going to be involved. We can translate this to English. You guys can see Pokemon Works was revealed last week, but nothing was actually known about the company's purpose. The only thing we know for sure was that it was going to provide support for games and be located in the Ilka building. Now it's become known who the executives of Pokemon Works are, and it shows that it is collaboration between Ilka and the Pokemon Company. So it's very likely that we'll see more of Ilka in the future. It is therefore not known whether this will be a separate game or support for Game Freak. The following names are in charge of Pokemon Works, and then, of course, we had the list of names here. Takuya Iwasaki, the representative director of Ilka. Takanori Sowa, the director of Pokemon Company. So there's a lot of people that are going to be working at this, you know, Pokemon Works company. They're involved high up within Pokemon and also high up within, of course, Ilka itself. So again, nothing really new to learn from here. Like, looking at this, the only thing that's, like, I guess if this is a real post, the only thing we can get out of it is that there's an underground. But that's something we've already speculated in many videos. So I'm gonna be real, this post a little bit iffy, but we do have some cool theories though. So this Pokemon theory sent to us by Pokestar Idol says, I know Pokemon Legends ZA says urban development, but urban is in the middle of development. What about the other two types of rural and suburban development? What game IDs can Pokemon Legends cook up for people in Pokemon in the Gen 10 games? So here he's talking about the fact that, you know, if we look at the actual like map, of course, they talk about urban development. We had a futuristic and a past-looking version. But then there's the fact that you have a rural, urban, and suburban, right? Like, you guys know these different, you know, classifications for neighborhoods, right? And then, of course, there's different ways to look at it from, you know, a socio-economic standpoint, right? Like, oh, you know, in the countryside, there is less work opportunity, but there is more space and, you know, affordability for living, but, you know, so on and so forth. And then it moves on and kind of shows a bunch of images in regards to this and how, like, we could see, like, rural versus urban kind of locations matching in the same way we have it in Z and A. The Z is the more urbanized, you know, cityscape, with the A being more natural, right? You even have the roots coming out of the actual logo, right? Which is kind of nuts. He says here, both look like no way in or out, and I don't see nothing to doing anything other than buildings and not anything in the city that has to be fun activities we can do like in PLZA. The second DLC is hitting something that's going to be in the game. Now, again, he's talking about the fact that if we look at the little circles here, and I've already speculated this, that these little circles will not be gym locations, but rather that these little circles would actually be terrariums, just like the terrarium from, of course, the Indigo Disc. Now, this is a theory that I already, like, put out there. I've already said this, already speculated it, and I still think that's highly likely to be the case. Also, there was this post by PokeTimes. Now, PokeTimes is an official account. It's actually run by the Pokemon Company. They own it, and they were talking about the fact that the stage of a new adventure is in Lumiose. That question mark seems to be different from previous, that tower, sorry. I guess the tower seems to be different from the previous, you know, Lumiose City. I can't stop being excited about this new adventure. So again, it's even this is here another confirmation that we're going to be going to a different version of Lumiose. This is not the Lumiose you remember from X and Y. This Lumiose will be different. It's not going to look the same. It's not going to feel the same. It's a whole new place, essentially. Like, sure, there will be references. That's something they always do. But it's, at the end of the day, a new location. And that's the important part to remember. We're going to go to Lumiose City, but it's going to be different. And I think it's just important to mention that because I feel like a lot of people easily skim over that fact and don't really think about it that much. But yes, Lumiose City we're going to now. It's not going to be the same one that we've explored in X and Y. Like the X and Y Lumiose, is totally different from this one. At least that's the way I see it. And the way I've understood it from the posts and the tweets and everything. We're going to a different version of Lumiose. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be different. It's going to be a different kind of journey. Okay, let's put it like that. It's going to be a different kind of journey. Of course, guys, remember, go get your hands on, of course, the Scarlet and Violet Outbreak event for 6 new Pokemon. They're going to be able to get your hands on. Definitely, like, the opportunity now to shiny hunt these guys is prime. It's like the perfect timing to go shiny hunting, because you're going to be able to get all these guys shiny, because mass outbreaks just means there's going to be more outbreaks in general, so higher chance of finding one of these fellas. Now, I don't think the actual rates of shinies have actually gone up. I don't think they've actually said anything about that. If we go to Cerebi, we can actually see what they've said about that. But you guys can see the next mass outbreak event has been announced for Scarlet and Violet. So will feature baby Pokemon with the chance of getting the Vigor mark. So that's actually pretty good. Pichu and Happiny are in Paldea. Munchlax and Riolu are in Kitakami. And Elekid and Magby are in Terrarium. So I guess to get all of them, you need to have the DLC, which is poopy, but it is what it is. And then on the side here, we can actually see the Raikou event up here. So this is the last major, latest major sleep event. The Raikou research event is starting to roll out. This event's going to be running from 04 local time today until 03:59 local time on April 8th, 2024 in Greengrass Isle only. This event is focused around the introduction of Raikou into the game, allowing you to find it by obtaining Raikou's main item from missions and finding Pokemon during sleep research and exchanging them for items including Raikou incense. This event also features a 50% increased chance in male skill activation. But basically, it's all about Pokemon sleep. And again, it's weird that it is Raikou of all Pokemon. Like a weird choice of a Pokemon to go for. But who knows? Maybe I am just huffing the copium and hoping for Johto. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. And also, check out the rest of our content on the channel. We have some great stuff, like our Secrets and Easter eggs video that came out not too long ago. Definitely go give that one some love. Go watch it. Either way, thank you all for today, and peace out.